I think the whole thing's going to be fairly exciting. There's coming into a new branch. The branch looks great. The staff are good. I think it's going to be a fairly testing time over the next 12 to how many weeks, and I'm not looking at it all going smoothly, but I think it's having a positive attitude, and I think it's going to be good at the end of the day.
Good morning, Yvonne. We just want to talk to you today about the rollout of the Bank of the Future. The total rollout takes about 16 to 18 weeks. So one of the first things that you'll have to do is to look at your new staff, maybe take some advice from the previous manager, and assess the staff's skills and specialties, and also to find out what they would really like to do in the Bank of the Future. And to help you make those assessments, we'll be handing out some questionnaires to the staff, and we'll be asking them to select not only the type of work that they like, but also the location they might like to work in. You will then have the opportunity of going through and what we call ghosting the staff for your new branch, and then you'll go through and make your selections.
So that means the numbers might change?
Yes, the numbers will change in your branch, Yvonne, most particularly because the operational aspects of the branch are going to be done in another centre, the Area Operations Centre.
Well, I guess it's a little bit of going into the unknown. I may have liked a little bit more time to sort of settle into the branch and get to know the staff before we went through all of these changes. I still think it's going to be an exciting time. I'm looking forward to the changes, to making them work, and I think the staff have got a positive attitude about it. Whether that continues through the alterations and everything else, who knows? I guess my main concern is that the customers aren't inconvenienced in any way.
Let's just say you've been sitting in a job and you've gotten to the peak. What will happen then if there's like nowhere for you to go up? Is your salary just going to stagnate and stay the same, or
right.
And what's going to happen there?
There are two factors there. First of all, we have pay for performance.
Basically, in the past, when I've wanted to do certain things, and I've said I want my career to go in this direction, I've been really discouraged. Like, all I get is, no, you don't want to do that, that won't suit you, and really you know yourself best more than anyone else, and you know what you want to do. So I think this is really good because you can like detail everything that you want to do, and I think the bank will take it a lot more seriously than they have in the past, especially the actual part where you have the information that they want to know about.
Please be honest, because staff selection is very important. It's important that you are happy in the jobs and satisfied in the jobs that you go into. Success will not be measured by rapid promotion. Now, that's certainly a change on the way we view success now.
How fluid is it between the payment and the sales? I mean, I notice here you've got talent.
Some branches may have a lot of sales-orientated individuals, okay, that might be suited towards sales, but then those persons within the branch may not be available. There may be more sales in their actual payments, so they may have to move those people from the branches. So there may be that a bit of mobility required, and for a lot of people, some people just aren't mobile, and whether that means that they may have to look, either they make that decision to move or they may have to actually leave the bank. So, I mean, it does create a bit of uncertainty in that respect.
I think it'll be good if the staff do have that input into what they're doing. And the training, I guess training is perhaps one of the concerns, just making sure that everybody does get the right training and just get on with it.
I think we'll make a start on the meeting. The purpose of this meeting really is to confirm the staffing for Molesworth Street. I think the process is good from the point of view that all staff are considered for positions. I've had a lot of feedback that staff feel the process takes so long, but yeah, there really is no way around that, given that there can be 300 staff in a wave. It's not only just the branch that the person's in, there are probably 20 other branches that are rolling out. So it is important that we take time over the process. This is our one opportunity to get this right, because all options will have been considered for them. Now, I think we need to have a look at Linda's questionnaire in respect to this recommendation. Her work preference was firstly sales and service, customer service consultant, and that's meeting her needs. Her second was the area operations centre team leader.
Yeah, they were advertised, and yeah, Linda didn't apply for it.
This morning I was feeling a bit apprehensive as we all waited for our letters to come through. Yvonne started with people, and so we sat for 3/4 of an hour waiting, nail biting, and then when I got it, it was all right, and then everyone else filed in. But it was the waiting that was the killer. Were we going to be here or up the other end of town? Or nobody knew, so it was a guessing game, a bit of a lottery.
Okay, do we have consensus around the table then that Linda McEwen will be the customer service consultant at Molesworth Street?
Yes.
Yep, we do. The next customer service consultant within the branch. Now, Yvonne's recommendation here is clear that it's Cheryl Minnie. My experience of Cheryl is that she actually has some international background, which I think could be of considerable use to the branch.
That'll be important there, David.
I think having Cheryl up at the top end is most important.
Well, I've been offered these ACSC position, which is what I wanted, but in relation to my grade, there will be a salary cap on it. So if I don't take it, there is the redundancy clause that I can look at. So I'm going to consider my position at the moment and just digest it basically and have a look at things and then come up with a decision.
Just looking at Aaron Collier, David, he's stated a preference here for product development within GMO.
Yeah.
Peter, I mean, do you know of any opportunities for Aaron there?
No, there's nothing at Aaron's level at the moment in products and services.
Yeah. His actual second preference on here, what he stated, is the area operations centre.
Actually, I'm going to the AOC. Quite rapt about that actually, but I wasn't holding out much hope for products and services because it's GMO and that's already been done, gone through, wiped out. So I'm pleased to get out of the branch. That's the main thing. Yeah. It's good that you know all the customers and everything. You know, you get on really well with the customers, but you just sort of get a bit stagnant after a while. Just want change, that's all.
Okay, we've actually moved 100 metres south to the AOC, so I've got a friend that actually works there, and it sounds quite good, and it actually looks really good. Like, I sort of just visions of everyone working down at that old grotty building, down supplies or stores, whatever it's called, but it looks quite good now. So it sounds like it's going to be quite a good environment to meet different people, a lot of people, so it'll be quite interesting.
Well, I originally put forward for a customer services consultant, and I didn't actually receive that position, but I did actually get my second option, which was for customer services assistant. And in that respect, I'm quite happy. It serves as a point where I can move either towards the payment side of the new branch structure or towards the sales. And certainly it's a time for me where I can, I sort of see it as a make it or break it point. And you know, it certainly has that challenge there for me, so I'm quite happy.
Have you got a queue? Is there a queue?
Yeah, there's a bit.
Can we have someone on the counter, please?
Well, shock, shock, horror, horror. I was offered something completely different, and it's a supervisor's role at Molesworth Street. I've been thinking about it throughout the day, and I'll go home and talk to my husband about it tonight. It sounds quite interesting. At first, like when we were told about the different jobs in the branches, it didn't sound very appealing at all, but as we found out a little bit more about it, it does sound quite interesting.
Chris is just doing a bank check for.
It's not a job I would have asked for, so I know the sort of job it is, so it's not unknown. But I didn't know it was available at the time, but yeah, it's just not my choice.
When will they need to start to come into the branch and actually start working on the premises?
Probably about 6 weeks prior to BOF, I think will be the best time.
Okay.
Because of the scale of Molesworth Street, it's a total refurbishment job, whereas all the other Bank of the Future will be alterations. To minimise the impact, we knew that to take the whole branch in one hit would be just unpalatable to the staff. So it was done in stages, and most of the work was carried on from 4 o'clock to 1 o'clock in the morning to again minimise the workload.
Yeah, I'll try and see if I can get it done in a couple of minutes, so... Okay, bye-bye.
Can you talk to us about what it's been like working this week?
Shit, it's like shit at the moment. It's chaos, look, chaos everywhere. But, yeah. Come on, I've got to do this. Okay.
been diabolical here. There's been people coming because, of course, I'm back from my course, but someone else has gone theirs, so we're one short, one on holiday, another one on holiday, so we're all running around like headless chickens today.
Chris, how do you feel about the week?
Oh, it's been all right. Yeah, interesting, but honest, but please, I haven't got time.
Oh, just 30 seconds?
No, I haven't even got 30
Really?
seconds. No.
You need lots of hand lotion, and it's really dry. It's really, really dry here, and there's no air conditioning at the moment.
Well, it's been pretty stressful this week. We've had lots of changes. The builders have had a few problems, and one night they cut all the main power cables to the whole building, and we had phone calls through the night, and they had to come in early in the morning. They changed all the telecounters up to the other end, had to connect up the terminals to get them going by 9 o'clock. And as you can see, we've got cords and bits and pieces all over the floor, so some days haven't been as good as they could have been. I think the other thing is that we've had people out on training courses, and we've got a couple on leave, and I think it's really important not to have anybody on leave at this time.
How do you guys find working amidst all the bank at work?
Honestly,
Yeah.
better if it closed down.
It should be closed down.
Well, it'd be easier for us, but we're in it, eh?
Yeah.
Again, with Molesworth Street, it was a full bank of the future and had all the features that we'd like to put into every branch. We used it as a test bed, things were trialled, and even things were changed as we're going along.
As long as they can still work, it's the main thing.
Why the changes that occurred? It's hard to see the reason why.
Most of them do want to know what's going on. They do want to know where the offices are going to be. In fact, we should have really had a plan or some sort of model out there so they could see what was happening and understand it a little bit better.
Well, in my sort of time in the queue, they've got a bit of a challenge, but yeah, they seem to be doing okay.
So you feel pretty positive about the whole...
Sure, and I think change is good. Yeah, I do. Thank you.
The customer service officer, that basket's now been brought up to date, hasn't it?
Yeah, we're getting there. We're still a couple of days' work there.
I found that Yvonne was very, very busy, and of course she was out at courses, and this made it very hard to keep the communication lines open. And I think what I have learnt from Molesworth Street, probably more than anything else, is that you need a pager or you need something like that so the manager can get you out of work hours.
My phone, which I share with Cheryl, and here is the lead.
They're there from very early in the morning to late in the day, and it doesn't matter how many times you may leave a phone message in. Often a Best Bank phone message was probably the last thing she wanted to ring because she had customers she had to deal with first.
Tape to the carpet down here, past the terminal, past the hidden fax machine for secret messages, past the urine, and to the main phone. We've made it. 47209111.
I think it's not working out quite as well as we had been told it was going to. We were told that people, I think, maybe would care more about the staff, how they are feeling through it, and I don't really feel that they are. They're not, they haven't been to ask us basically how it's going. They haven't sort of stopped to think that this stress, the tension is getting to everyone, and it's getting, so just amongst working partnerships. I think a wee bit more thought should have been put into that, or maybe a wee bit more care.
Have that head section going straight through.
Tuesday night, the electrician took our keys home, and so we had no keys to get into the safe, to get anything really, and it was about 9 o'clock before we finally turned up with the keys, so we weren't too happy about that. We had a cash count to do and lots of things to do. And
I don't have any loose notes, only fives. Let's see what happens. We haven't balanced all week.
I think just when you're working, when you're trying to do everyday work in amongst it, just trying to find things for a start, it makes you look very clumsy for the customers, because every time you go to get something that's not there, you've got to run around. So you're feeling harassed by it. It's hard not to, to give a good professional image, and also because you're harassed, then the staff and amongst themselves tend to take it out on each other.
As soon as you finish that,
Yes, it's quite fun to be in amongst something that's sort of changing, and the builders are good to be in amongst. They're quite friendly. Everybody knows that it's chaotic, so and most of the customers are quite friendly and quite. In fact, they give you more support than anybody, so that's good.
I'm telling them about the torturous after-hours work we're having to do. For the love of it all. Tonight we're either going to a course on planning tools or referrals. And last week we went on minimum service standards, and we went up to the training centre because I don't think the trainers could stand to come here. So we're going to go up there and find out what course we're on from 5:30 till 7:30.
Okay, so planning tools is about controlling the events that make up time.
Well, we've been undergoing a lot of training in the last 2 to 3 weeks, learning the customer service platform, and we've had in-house training the last 3 weeks at night as far as referrals, service standards, and tonight we're having the planning session.
I'd just like to sort of comment that when we get to go on courses, I went on one of the 5 courses I'm going to go on, that there's no one to cover your job. So they're trying to learn and do the best that you can. So when you come back here, you can meet the customer's needs and do well for the branch. But you come back and there is your 2 days' work just sitting there for you to do. So it'd be good if they could get relief staff out there to help everybody.
Yep, I've been on a couple of trainings for the rollouts, and I found them helpful, especially because they've taught us to identify the customer's needs and the process of actually referring them to the proper person.
I think it has been better to do some night training rather than have people out of the branch. If we had somebody there to relieve, it would have helped. It's been pretty stressful when you've got key people out of the branch and everything else that's going on. I think on Monday Linda was away and we had 10 to 15 builders all over the place. It was getting a bit much.
We're talking to all of the staff across the division now and saying to the managers and area managers that people should not be away on leave throughout the 3 to 4 month period of rollouts. That's right. Especially throughout that preparation stage when they're away on training courses. Yes. We found it from this branch and from every other Wave 1 branch as well, that with people away it just makes it too difficult on the rest of the staff.
What did I learn on my course? I learned how to put a straw through a potato. I did, honest, I did. And if I had a potato and a straw, I'd show you. It's all to do with your positive mental attitude and your follow through.
Well, this is the last week, so it's been really stressful. We've had painters, plasterers, builders, cabling, telecom. Our telephone keeps getting pulled out. Our fax is broken down, so if anybody's trying to get hold of us, it's pretty difficult.
New paper.
That's me.
Want to come on round?
It's on my life away.
What were you going?
I mean, we've been to the meetings and to the staff training and everything, but everything's sort of a little bit up in the air as to who exactly is going to be doing what on Monday. So we thought, well, when we come and set everything up on Sunday, we'll discuss it, and then hopefully we should all know what we're doing.
It's really difficult working in this kind of environment, but we haven't got much choice, and it will be over in a couple of days anyway, so we're really looking forward to Monday.
Yeah, it's just a pain having to walk around things at the moment. And you get little bits of, out of the, what they call it, like the paint bits, but all this grey stuff out of the roof. And they've been dropping them down off the floor onto the teller's counters and just leaving it there. You gotta pick it up and you end up with itchy hands and you start rubbing things and you just want to scratch all the time. It's really disgusting.
Staff has been good to us actually. Everyone's been pretty good. Not the easiest of contracts working around everyone else, eh?
We've been told we're meant to be up to date by tonight, but I don't know whether we will be, but we have to have all our desks packed up. Tonight they come in at 4:30 to put on the new computers. Tomorrow we have to be here at 8 in the morning to have training on the new computers and get our IDs. And then tomorrow at 5 o'clock everybody's like break up for people that are leaving. It'll be their last time. So some of them have already gone. Lisa's gone. Erin's last day tomorrow.
I've got a feeling today and tomorrow are going to be the worst days. Yesterday was pretty bad. So I'll probably be working here, I don't know, probably do a couple of hours tonight, a couple more hours tomorrow night. And probably still won't be up to date, but it'll follow me to AOC, I'm sure. So yeah, can't wait. Counting down the hours.
Today's the last day before we roll out on Monday, and it's been pretty chaotic. We started with a training session at 8 o'clock this morning for the new terminals, sales platforms. We've had builders and people coming in and out all day.
Chubb, somebody.
It's now 4:30, we've just shut the doors and we've got more builders coming in and out, and it's really going quite crazy. Everybody's a little bit stressed out, particularly the builders, because they've all got tight time frames. They're redoing things, they're tidying things up. We pack up all our desks tonight because everything disappears, and we get new furniture tomorrow, and we all come in on Sunday to sort out where we're at.
It's a circus, mate. I started on Wednesday and I'm just training as a teller. I sort of take over full-time next week, and I don't think I'll be ready.
I've just had all of the appointments that I've lent money to today, we just have to grab these security packets so we can don't send them off to the AOC.
Is that Bruce Miller? That's him, isn't it?
That's him, yep.
Sorry.
There's one more.
It's been absolutely hectic all day actually. Not only from customer point of view, but also implementation of the technology. I think they picked the Friday's a bad day to be implementing new technology, especially if you only had half an hour to learn how the process works. So from that point of view, I wish they'd done a bit more planning and actually introduced it a bit sooner.
Oh, really, mate? Sooner the better. Good job for asking out. Right, Steve. Good one, mate. See ya.
Yes.
Wait, do you want everything from the drawer in there? Yeah, everything from the drawer, mate.
Okay, so did you get a balance of your account when you were there?
Hey, there's a door open over there. If it's easier,
Okay, it was really just to do with your account and the fact that your bank card has been in arrears a bit.
Just worried about those shares, mate, getting bloody dangerous.
Oh, yeah. Don't see me catch me doing this too often, lady.
The staff have been really great the whole time that the renovations have been going on since the 10th of January. Things still aren't finished, but it's great to get to this stage. They've really all pulled their weight and got in and worked as a team and covered each other's jobs and done things like that, particularly while we've been away on training courses. I really appreciate what they've done.
I went in as an implementer and basically we were assisting with the clean-up or getting the work up to date prior to the migration of the work to the AOC. The earlier you look at the backlog of work, the easier it is on migration date or conversion date for everybody. I mean, you've got nothing to look at behind you and whatever comes in, you just go for it. So, a lot easier that way.
Oh, I'm trying to put everything away. I've got so much room. I'll never find anything again.
I thought we were getting new desks, and we tidied all of these out on Friday night, but it looks as though they're still here, so I think this is where it's going to be for now. The branch isn't completely finished. We were hoping it would be already up and running for Monday, but the ceilings aren't finished. We've got the old brochure stands, and there's still some painting and bits and pieces to finish off, so we're not quite there yet.
Okay, not a problem. Well, I'll sort of just give this a quick tidy then. Before I came here, I was an implementer, so I've been quite lucky. I've been able to sort of see the existing pilot branches and see how they've worked, and I've been able to sort of see from the other side from how the branches are sort of building up to it. So you can sort of give an appreciation of some of the things that the branch staff do go through. But having seen the pilots working, you can see that there is a definite benefit in it all. And generally things work quite well once everything's sort of set up and running.
I think it's exciting that we've got to this stage. I think things have got a bit on top of us, just the dust and dirt and bits and pieces like that, but from here on it's got to get better. Yes, and where it's going to be kept.
Okay, well, I'll show you how to do this so we get it in case anything.
Connie, going to give us some lessons on how to use
Transfer a call. Transfer it to...
You then have to put it on record, and you always make sure you hit that record button and it shows up there as record. The other one over there.
Oh, I've kept you off there anyway. Just sorting out what goes to the AOC and what stays today.
And this would be nice.
This would be nice.
Good morning, Westpac Molesworth Street, Steve speaking.
Wait, can I borrow you for a minute to shift the cable, please?
Okay, just a moment.
Wait, can you just give us a hand to shift the cabinet, please?
And running them.
Richard, can you just give us a hand with this, please? We're just going to have a quick spray paint up here because there's that piece of ceiling that hasn't been done, and we open in 20 minutes, so they think they can get it done in time. And it's not going to smell too much.
You there? Because I've nothing.
Yeah, I think I'm here.
I'm right in the corner.
You've finished now, basically.
Yeah, come back. The ceilings and that's all another contract now.
What about the air curtain above the door? Nothing to do with you?
I don't know.
I thought we were supposed to be having a lesson on it. But they're wrong? All wrong? Oh.
20 seconds to go and we open up the doors for a new era in banking at Molesworth Street.
Welcome to Westpac Molesworth Street, Kelly speaking. She is, but she actually has a customer with her at the moment. Can I take a message?
The staff are doing really well. I mean, I just can't place enough emphasis on how the staff have really picked up and run with everything that's happened, and they deserve a lot of praise for what they've been through.
For me, it's just one word to describe it. It was chaos during the first week.
Chaotic. It's very difficult to know who is doing what.
It's been rather diabolical because a lot of the things are still out in the stationery room and we're still coming to grips with where things are being hidden. So you spend a lot of time having a look. So day by day it's getting better and better. The things that we need are within easy reach. But we're around the other side of the office, so every time we want to file or we want to fax something or we want to get anything else out, we have to come right back round to this area.
I'm finding that we're having a few problems that are beginning to emerge in relation to servicing customer needs. In the past, we could call upon other staff members that originally were well within the view of the counters, but since everyone's actually broken up and around the building, it's a lot harder to get queue breakers, and we're finding that we're having lines now that we never used to have before, and people are waiting a lot longer to have their needs serviced.
The new computer system, to me, at the moment, it's trickier than it was before. Things take a wee bit longer. It explains what it's doing as it goes, so that's good. But a lot of things take longer, so you've got to have that little bit more time to work it through. But it's going to be more efficient. It's going to be good. Just have to get used to it. So.
What has been the worst aspect of the rollout?
Being thrown into jobs that I've got no training for. I mean, I'm a relief officer. Didn't bother training me at all to begin with, so I've come into it with no training. First person goes sick in the first week and I'm suddenly doing their job, so that's okay, it's not something you can plan for, but maybe it's something they should have thought about.
There was a continual problem all the time with us, especially if staff needed to go on a course. To already have somebody away on holiday created even bigger problems, because if those staff don't receive the training they require, then that branch is not going to become accredited. And this is a big issue as far as accreditation, is that every member of the staff on day one knows when they sit at that desk, they know how to use the technology, and they've got the training.
Probably my main worry has been that we haven't been providing the same level of customer service as we're used to providing, and that's affected us all in some way.
I'm quite surprised that the customers, that they actually like the branch, they like the way it's working. Yeah. So that's been good, because a lot of them were negative along the way, so that's nice. Yeah.
Customers are really liking the privacy in the office. They like being able to come in and talk to us away from other people, and they really like the premises that they've been done up. First of all, a lot of them said, oh, why are you spending all this money? What was wrong with what you had? But now they can see the end result. They're looking and say, well, this is really good.
We're still having a lot of problems, mainly because the building hasn't been totally finished. The staff aren't in place that we need. We've had a bit of trouble recruiting staff and getting them on board, so we've had temps in and out, and from that point of view it's been quite unsettling, and we really haven't had a chance to bed the processes down and actually work out who's doing what and when. The things I think could have made it better, maybe a bit more liaison about the branch and what was going on building-wise, because there was a lot of things that I had to make decisions on or find out about, which if I'd known a little bit more about the project in advance would have helped me in that way. Just quality control from all of the people involved, where they are responsible for making sure things work, and work from the branch perspective, because I think there is a difference between working from the technical perspective and actually working from our point of view.
We've discussed a few of those aspects with Westpac, and we obviously want to try and get the staff involved as early as possible. Under that branch we couldn't, but we've now got things in places which will allow the staff to be more involved earlier and be involved throughout the process to ensure that they know what's happening, and that, again, it runs smoother for everybody.
I think maybe they shouldn't have moved individuals out of the branch so quickly to their respective new jobs, because of that adjustment that we've needed to have. We found that we've had a drain on knowledge in particular areas because we've lost certain staff to the AOC centre and of course other areas in which they've applied for. So in that respect, there's a gap that sort of established itself, and we are having a few problems. So hopefully through experience we should be able to work through those, but at the moment it's just a bit hair-raising.
Some of the staff are a little bit concerned that the people that have gone to Area Operations Centre or left have taken the knowledge of some of the functions with them, and people that are left don't have that knowledge to carry on their jobs, whether it's inquiries or whatever. We're looking at doing something there?
Yeah, yes we are. This is an issue that's come up in other branches. I've had discussions with Peter Lynch from Human Resources, and obviously we're going to have to make changes for the future just simply because of the problems that you've realised. What we've got to look to do now for wave one is how we can manage it, but make sure it doesn't occur in wave two.
Paperwork on my desk's mounting up something chronic. I don't know how to do anything. And I'm yet to balance on the night. I was balanced the next day, so they can only get better.
Well, I've always been confident that it's going to work. It's just a matter of us getting ourselves in a position where we can actually make it work. I mean, nobody's going to come in with the system and say, yes, this is going to work for you and it's going to work straight away. That's never going to happen. What they can do is they can come and say, well, look, this is what we think will work, and then, we get paid to make it work.
Yes, my credenza.
I found the AOC very helpful. When you ring up, they'll just answer your query, no mucking around or saying it's not their concern. It's straight on to the job and very good. Top marks.
Really busy, mainly because I don't know what I'm doing, but I think for the first couple of days most people don't up here until you settle in. But you don't get as many interruptions as what you do in the branch, which is really good because you can sit down and get your work done. You can stick around till 5:30, 6 o'clock at night. There's no pressure on getting you out the doors by the time the tellers are balanced, so it's good. It's pretty relaxed. Fairly good crowd to work for.
We've got a meeting on this Thursday night to really sit down between the CSCs, the supervisor and myself, to really work out how we're going to make it work the way it should work. I think it will work. It's just getting rid of all of the extras that are going on at the moment.
There's a definite change coming through there. I don't know whether I'm just getting used to it more or whether things are gradually starting to click into place. But I definitely noticed there was a difference, and that you can sort of see it happening. You can feel it.
Hey, there's a door open over there. I'm really enjoying the position as a CSC. I think the customers like the privacy. They like to be able to come in and sit down and discuss everything with you. And when you are in an interview situation, it's much easier to discuss products with customers. So on the whole, I think now it is we're all quite positive. But having said that, I wouldn't go through it again. But no, it is. It's yeah. I think the whole thing is coming along really well.
We're just going to have a quick spray paint up here. One thing that I wouldn't do if I did it again would be have such wholesale changes in what the staff were doing. I think it's a matter of knowing the cross-training side of it is important, but it's not just knowing how to sell a term deposit or how to sell a draft. It's knowing all the other systems as well, and that's where we had a problem. Everybody knew how to do those things on their old jobs, but it was just that knowledge, that depth of knowledge to know how to do the full thing and what all the reports meant and that sort of thing. So I hope they're getting happier. They're happy on the good days.
Showing the ropes. I came in and it was a hell of a shock to start a bank, and I thought I'd be the only one that didn't know what I was doing, but got a bit of a shock there. I think everyone sort of merged together as a team more. We're sort of doing each other's work, trying to help each other out, and I think everything's starting to come together.
Myself, I've adjusted to the system already, so the printer knocks up every now and then, but we get to cope with it. So it's a lot better now than it was a month ago.
Being honest, but please, I haven't got time. I haven't got time today. So. I still think it's a bit muddled here. I also think there's still people not sure what roles that they're meant to really be doing, and also that for the jobs that they're meant to be doing, I don't think they know exactly, you know, and have had enough training in the jobs that they're doing.
It's very hard to sort of see what it's going to be like down the line, you know, when you're going through all the hectic changes with the start of the rollout. But, you know, looking back now, I can sort of see that really it was just a matter of taking things as they came, bearing with them, putting up with them for a while, and, you know, things have actually worked out for themselves, so it hasn't been too bad, and it's certainly getting a bit better.
Listen closely, I will say this only once.
Now that we've been boffed for a whole month, it's been really good. The first 2 weeks were just hair raising and pulling our hair out, but now it's really good, settled down and actually enjoying it. And I thought I'd never say in those first 2 weeks, I thought I'd never be able to say I'm enjoying it, but I am. There's still a few hectic moments where you get a rush of customers and not enough CSCs or people at lunch times, but you're always going to get that, so there's no solution. But really enjoying seeing the customers in the office, being able to give them the time and be able to talk to them about things that they want. That's good. Being paid to say this? Not being paid to say this, but I'd love to be paid to say it. No, not being paid, no arm twisting. It's all voluntary and it is working. It's working good.
You've just seen a very powerful video. It tells it as it is. It says that change is very hard work. All the jobs, the branch layout, everything changes, so you're going to go through the highs and lows that Molesworth Street staff went through. I'm actually proud of the Molesworth Street staff for their openness and their honesty while they were going through that extremely stressful time, because on top of what you've seen, they also had cameras being shoved in front of them all the time. The change that you've seen at Molesworth Street, I'm sure you'll agree, is massive, but it's actually more all at once than most branches will go through. All branches have now got their new managers in place. Branches in future will have the new technology in place long before the rollout of Bank of the Future comes along. On top of which, the team are getting better and better at the project control and the implementation of the Bank of the Future. Other thing I'd like to stress is that we are taking notice the whole way through, from the pilots to the trials and to the rollout branches now, of the changes that the staff say that are necessary. Now, you know and I know that we have to go through this change process. The rollouts are confirming that our new model is right. The new business levels that we're writing is confirming it. The customer response is confirming it. And this video is just a record of the huge change process that we're going through. I know when it comes your turn to go through it that you'll go through the highs and the lows just like they did at Molesworth Street, but at the end I can honestly say to you it is worth it.